let's have us a discussion about Todd Monken as the new offensive coordinator at Georgia, what this means for James Coley, and why I think, yes, Kirby Smart got a higher right, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today I want to have a discussion about Kirby Smart hiring Todd Monken as Georgia's offensive coordinator. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Todd Monken, I'm very familiar with Todd Monken's work. Turned Wes Lunt into an outstanding passer at Oklahoma State, had the offense humming right along. We're talking about 550 yards of offense. He is called an air raid offense coordinator, but he kind of thumbs his nose at that. What he says is, I took from that you can throw the football and win a lot of football games, but like any other offensive system, it works better if you have good players, which I think is kind of what Georgia's after, because the reason that the air raid was so good and the reason that I loved it so much, still love it today, is because it was supposed to even the playing field with players that weren't as good as the ones that you were facing on defense. The way that Hal Mumme used it, the way that Mike Leach used it, was to take what you might call inferior talent and use it to go and beat you by turning a football field into a math problem, attacking patches of grass as opposed to attacking parts of the defense, spreading the defense out, and forcing them to put two where you have three, put one where you have two, and really just try to have you run in all the different directions. Matter of fact, one of the principles that Mike Leach built his air raid philosophy around, just learning from Hal Mumme at Valdosta State, taking it to Kentucky, and even from Iowa Wesleyan, was quite simply Sun Tzu. Attack your opponent where he is not. Where he is weak, you attack him, right? You go after the parts of him that ain't built all that well. Now with Todd Monken, I'm actually very excited about this because murder ball ain't working at Georgia. It's not working for many people because it means that you can't play football from behind. It means that you weren't able to keep up with the likes of LSU or Alabama when it comes to scoring. And that's what you got to be able to do in today's football. Modern football is throwing the ball around, going fast, scoring a lot of points. The most efficient way to score points in the sport of football today is passing the ball. You can control the game by running the ball, and we all know that football coaches are control freaks. Like, they want their environment exactly how they want their environment, and if you are able to upset that in any way, you can really force them into a corner, and they don't like it. So, knowing that you have more tools to throw the football around, yeah, you're going to be much more comfortable when your environment gets upset. It's an underrated hire at a place like Georgia because Kirby Smart is such a defensive-minded coach. It also means that James Coley goes back to a lesser role in the offense. He spent 1 year as the offensive coordinator after having been at Georgia for the entirety of Kirby Smart's stint there, but he's also an outstanding recruiter. He ran lead on getting Jamie Newman into Georgia, Wake Forest grad transfer that I affectionately call store brand Cam Newton. I was excited about it, but only if they were going to open up the passing offense, and it seems like they are. He also was running lead on Brock Vandegrift in the 2021 class and Caleb Williams in the 2021 class at quarterback. So you want James Coley around for those things alone. Plus, he knows the ins and outs of your program, and you would love to have that guy help Todd Monken along. Todd Monken comes from the Cleveland Browns, where he was offense coordinator for just 1 year. They weren't very good. Freddie Kitchens was calling the plays. I got a thing now about guys that are holding play cards and being head coaches that even extends to Lincoln Riley, based entirely around what happens when you get into the college football playoff. But before that, Todd Monken was at Tampa Bay, and we all know that Georgia fans going to look at this and be like, oh, okay, we're hiring another NFL guy to come and be our offensive coordinator because that works so well with Schottenheimer. It ain't the same. Monken has tremendous experience in college football, not just at Oklahoma State, but at Southern Miss, which is my mom's alma mater, where they weren't very good in their first year. And what did he do at the end of that year? He bought the senior class suits. That's always going to be a big deal to me. He's a really fun guy to talk to. It sucks that Kirby Smart does not let his assistants get out there and actually just ham it up with media, because Monken is going to shine. I don't know how long he's going to last at Georgia or that he really wants to be there, but as my buddy Steve said, he wants to be his designated realtor because Todd Monken gets around, y'all. Got started coaching in like 98 at Eastern Michigan, has worked his way up from various places, taking on what he could take on, learning what he needs to learn to be an effective offensive coordinator. I've thought for some time that perhaps the thing to think about when we talk about Todd Monken is what he was able to do with lesser parts, right? When you give him the kind of quality recruits that he will have at a place like Georgia, sky's the limit. And now that we've seen the mass exodus at LSU, where we're probably going to go back to seeing them at 9-3, just a few days after winning the 2020 College Football Playoff National Championship, it really goes back to being Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Auburn, those teams. We'll see if Texas A&M can do something to upset the natural order of things, if you will. But it's also not going to be easy. He lost Jake Fromm, right, to the NFL draft. 3 starters on the offensive line. DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Dominique Blaylock to an injury. You're going to have to build it again, and you're going to have to teach these kiddos the way that you want it done. But it ain't like you're not going to have dudes out there, man. I understand that even losing Cade Mays and transfer to Tennessee is going to hurt you. But again, Todd Monken's used to working with less than what they got right now. And if he's able to do what he was able to do at Westland at Oklahoma State, at Georgia, there's no reason to believe they don't come out of the SEC East again and challenge for the SEC championship and get into the college football playoff. I'm bullish on this hire. I've liked the addition of Jamie Newman. I like the addition of Todd Monken. Now I need I need Kirby Smart and his visor to get out of the way. I know that y'all got hats and t-shirts that say run the ball because I got one when I was down at Sanford for the Notre Dame game last year. It was a very cool experience. I was very fortunate to be able to go. Had so much fun with it. But you're probably not going to say that so much now. You're probably going to be 50-50. But instead of going for 7 yards or 12 yards, you're going to see shot after shot that goes for 50. You're going to see George Pickens out there one-on-one against guys that can't cover him. You're going to see great distribution of the football. Probably going to see more pass blocking and flopping than you are going to see perhaps pulling encounters. But that's a good thing. Roll with it. Zamir White's going to get his touches, all right? Brian Herrion's going to get his touches. Y'all are going to be okay on running the football. But now you get to modernize the offensive wide receiver. You get to throw more air raid concepts in there. And now you get the advantage of attacking your enemy where he is weak. Imagine what it's going to be like for George Pickens to be one-on-one more often than not. Imagine what it's going to be like to see 4 or even 5 wide receivers out in formation and watching SEC defenses try to keep up. All right, that's it for me. Doses.